Welcome back to the 815 Exchange. I am your host, Chris Crenshaw, and we are live from the 336 once again here for episode 5 of the 815 Exchange. Today is my first day of class. I'm officially back in college. Year 2 is underway. I feel extremely unprepared, however. I'm not gonna lie. Still have to get my books. But first week's usually easy. That first class was pretty easy, so we'll see. It's basically all Zoom classes, so we'll see how this first month goes before they send us back. Or they send us back from sending us to Charlotte. I really don't know at this point, but we'll see. But besides that, there's a very, very interesting week in sports, so I will kick it over to the wheel. We have TV and music, NBA, the NHL, and of course soccer, which at this point is the transfer window news, with some really big soccer news that happened this past week. But yeah, that's it. Unfortunately, I know, super sad, super tragic. I don't know what happened. Dasani did not run the check as our official water sponsor. So, Deer Park, yes. Deer Park is our unofficial water sponsor. The graphic is probably up right now. And without further ado, the NBA. Perfect. Which series do I want to start off with? I'll start off with Boston and Toronto. Even though they're not first on my notes, I will start off with Boston and Toronto. Boston took a commanding 2-0 lead. Looked like it might be a sweep. Might sweep the defending champions out, but OG Anunoby with an incredible... I don't know how. Really, I mean, OG's shot was good, but if I'm being honest, that Kyle Lowry pass over the 7'5", 7'6" Taco Fall, I mean, he could have made a more perfect pass. That was one of the best passes I've ever seen in my life. Lowry with the pass to OG. OG sinks to 3, and that has completely changed the series. Now it's 2-2. Toronto won Game 4. I believe Game 5 is tonight. Tatum has to play better. Jaylen Brown had a dud of a game in Game 4. He absolutely needs to play much better. That was an ugly game to watch, actually. That Game 4 for Boston and Toronto. Pascal Siakam led all scores, and he went 2 for 13 from 3. So, real ugly game, but Nick Nurse is doing a phenomenal coaching job. He's one of the best young coaches. One of the best coaches, I think, period, in the game. I think everybody can agree on that. And yeah, I believe I picked Boston to come out of this series, so we'll see if that's still true. Looks like Toronto is rallying. We got a series, though. This is looking like it's going to be a 7-game win, so that's fun. That's fun to see. I'm going to hop right up so I can brag a little bit. Also in the Eastern Conference, I told you. I told everybody. I said, all right, I want to brag a little bit here with something. I said from round 1, not round 2, not now, not yesterday. Multiple episodes I have stated the Miami Heat were my dark horse in this NBA playoffs. Right now, even though they did drop the last game, and I'll get to that, I'm feeling very good about my predictions about the Heat. I said they were the dark horse, and they have proved to be the dark horse in this year's playoffs. Tyler Herro hit some very, very big shots yesterday. However, he didn't have his greatest game. But he had a solid game. Jimmy Butler has been phenomenal so far. Had 40, I believe, in Game 1. Bam has done a great job defensively. Goran Dragic. The whole Miami team is showing out. Kendrick Nunn. The Milwaukee Bucks. I have to show respect because he had a monster game yesterday. Chris Middleton, he stepped up. I still stand by what I've been saying about Middleton. I don't think he's the number 2 guy for the Bucks with Giannis. He's a good number 3. If he was the 3rd guy, this would be obviously a championship contending team to me. However, I don't see him as that number 2. However, he played a lot more aggressive yesterday. Really, the whole Bucks team did, and they did a great job. Bledsoe. However, if Giannis stays in that game and he does not get hurt with that ankle injury, he had 18 points in 11 minutes. Who knows? Milwaukee might be looking way better than they are, but maybe the Greek Freak being out is what motivates this team and helps them push them to play more aggressive and helps them rally here. I don't know many teams that have dropped. I don't know if that's ever happened, actually, in NBA history. I'll check that in editing and see if anybody's coming back from a 3-0, but I don't think that's ever been done. But the Milwaukee Bucks, I don't even need to check. That's never been done. Perhaps they'll see if the Bucks can pull it off. Without Giannis, I don't see him doing it. I think the Heat get it done here in Game 5. But we'll see. Heading over to the Western Conference, the game today is the Los Angeles Clippers versus the Denver Nuggets. I was extremely shocked about the Nuggets in Game 2. Kawhi played about as bad of a game as you can play, or as for him to play in Game 2. Jamal Murray showed out. Denver's proven a lot, I think, this playoff series. Jamal Murray's proven a lot this playoff series. If some of those young pieces, as I've stated in previous episodes, some of those young pieces for Denver can continue to grow, continue to get better, the Nuggets are going to be a really, really good team. I'm talking championship contender very soon. And, hey, if they can keep the Clippers slipping up here, it won't be very soon. Very soon will mean now. But we'll see. I don't think Kawhi's going to blow it like he did Game 2. Expect him to come back strong, get the win today. We'll see what happens the rest of the series. The Clips have been a little up and down. I would still pick them to win the NBA Finals. They're still my NBA Finals pick. I'll stand on that. But I'm not totally sold anymore. They've had some slip-ups. That may just because I've gotten used to them being a dominant team instead of a bunch of very good teams in the NBA, which is fun. I think it's made the playoffs a lot funner for us to watch. The unpredictability, breakout players happening throughout this playoffs. I think it's fun to see parity back in the league. The other game in the West, yes. Once again, and please let this serve as a final reminder and a final just reminder to stop overreacting after Game 1, especially with the Lakers. Once again, and I don't know why, and they may win this series. The Rockets may win this series. They may win the series. There is not a lot of room for error here in this series, though, for the Rockets, I will say. Harden has to be, which, I mean, he can do 30, 40, maybe 50 every game. He's got to be on every single game. But more importantly, Russell Westbrook has to be on every single game. He cannot have games, as I stated throughout the week to people that asked me about this game, about this series. Russ cannot have a bad game. He cannot have these 4 for 13, 2 for 12, these horrible shooting nights where he's a liability. He cannot do that in this series. And it's going to be tough because the Lakers are one of the best defensive teams in the association. But yeah, stop overreacting after Game 1. A lot of people were like, hey, Rockets in 4. That's ridiculous. Braun came back with a vengeance. 28, 11, 9, 4, and 2. Had a massive fourth quarter. They were talking about it on Sports Center earlier, but I've just been thinking, man, Braun, he's still the best player in the world because of, not just because of his athleticism, not just because of his talent, because of his basketball IQ. If you just sit back and you watch him play, just sit back and watch just LeBron for a couple possessions next game or in the fourth quarter, he's operating at a different level. When you have the last thing to go for a basketball player was always the IQ. And he has possibly the best basketball IQ of all time. So, he has that. You combine that with his athleticism and his talent. You have somebody that moves at a different speed. LeBron moves at a different speed. He operates at a different level from even the other great players, the other good players on the court. LeBron, it's different. That's the best way I can describe it. He's just built different, simply put. And yeah, he was big in game 2. I saw AD showed out as well. Yeah, Rockets fans, relax. Y'all had a little bit too much dip on your chip. Y'all still may win the series. Who knows? Anything can happen. It's the playoffs. But should be an interesting one. As all of these series actually are shaping up to be very interesting. Even the Heat-Bucks series, even though it's 3-1, whether or not Giannis can get some kind of healthy and be able to come back, can the Bucks keep rallying? Can Middleton and DiVincenzo and Bledsoe, can they step up and challenge Jimmy Buckets, who seems to be in the perfect place right now? A lot of interesting stuff going on in the NBA. So, without further ado, I will take a Deer Park unofficially sponsored water break while I spin the wheel for the second time. Soccer. I'm going to start off with the big one. This was massive news, and it's been massive news this whole entire saga over the past 2 to 3 weeks at this point. Though it came to an end last week. Messi is staying with Barcelona. Mostly because he has to. He wasn't really given a choice. Well, he technically has a choice, but simply out of the respect he has for the club and for his fans and the fans of Barcelona, he is staying because he doesn't want to get into a lawsuit with his boyhood club, the club he's loved, the club he's given everything, blood, sweat, tears for. The only reason Messi is not leaving Barcelona is because he doesn't want to get into a lawsuit. How badly managed and how bad does the situation have to get if you're Barcelona to where the only reason one of the greatest, arguably the greatest player to ever lace up a pair of boots, the best player, at least in your team's history, a guy who's been here since he was a teenager, since he was a kid, has done everything for Barcelona, that he wants to leave and you don't have enough respect for him. You don't have, after everything Messi's done for Barcelona, you don't have enough respect to go fall into his demands for what? Your money reasons, Barto? For if you're La Liga, because they're in this too, they won't let Messi leave. They said his clause that said that he could leave at the end of any season was not valid. Apparently you're worried about TV ratings. No Cristiano, no Messi. Forget about it. So, it's very pitiful that Barcelona, a club the magnitude of Barcelona, has to hold their greatest ever player, one of the greatest players of all time, arguably the greatest of all time, who has been here since he was this tall, which I guess is not saying much, but since he was this tall, you got to hold him hostage. That makes no sense. You have to make it's gotten so bad you're holding him hostage just so, and I don't really understand it as a business decision, because why not sell him for a bunch of money so you can get your rebuild going with all the... You don't have as many great young players as some of the other teams like Dortmund or your rivals Real Madrid, but you have some valid young players, one of which I will get to later on in this soccer section. Why not sell Messi for a bunch of money, use that money to help buy some more young players and more talent for the rebuild? Instead, you're going to hold him hostage for 1 year when he does not want to be here. Yes, he said he's going to give his all, but your captain's leaving. He wants to leave, and he's your captain. He's the face of the franchise, as we would say. So you're going to hold him hostage for a year, so next year he can just leave on a free when his contract expires. I don't understand it. Barto has to go. Simply put, he's ruining Barcelona. It's sad to see, even though I'm not a Barcelona supporter. The Messi situation is sad to me. For a person to... And he's shown so much and proved that he loves Barcelona so much. But it feels disrespectful. Especially to a player the caliber of Messi. The whole situation feels just disrespectful. It leaves me with a bitter taste. Very disappointed in the board. I hope they get Barto out. We'll see. But hashtag free Messi. The other big news in soccer, we have Kai Havertz going back to Stamford Bridge. Well, not back, but going to Stamford Bridge. He joins that loaded, and I mean loaded, Chelsea attack. It'll be very interesting to see how they do this year. Again, all those young pieces. And, of course, Chelsea is having a very FIFA caliber transfer window, perhaps even bigger than FIFA, because I'm pretty sure I'd have ran out of money at this point. Chilwell, Thiago Silva, Ziyech, Werner, I'm forgetting somebody, and of course Kai Havertz, the big one, the guy that everybody in Chelsea, everybody in London that supports Chelsea has been asking for. Havertz has arrived. Very exciting time to be a Chelsea fan if you are a Chelsea fan. And yeah. So, the next, also staying in the Premier League. Donny van de Beek has joined Manchester United. Ajax continues to churn out the players, churn out these incredible young talents, and DVB is the next in a long line. Joins Greenwood, who is in trouble, and I will get to that when I talk about the Nations League. Martial, Bruno Fernandes, and of course Marcus Rashford. A lot of good stuff going on at Manchester United. Ole's doing a great job. This is a great bit of business. Very interested to see how he fits into that midfield. Should be a very good midfield plus Pogba. So good stuff. Quick turnaround for the Premier League. I believe their season starts this weekend, actually. So I'm very interested to see how players coming off of the ending of last season, now they've got the UEFA Nations League, which is going on right now, and then they're going to go straight into the Premier League. I'm wondering how injuries and fitness and even burnout is going to affect them, because they haven't really had a holiday, haven't really had a vacation, haven't really had any time off. It's just been all go on and on and on. Nations League, Ansu Fati, who I said I was going to mention, incredible Barcelona talent, incredible talent just overall. Scored a goal for Spain. He's special, 17 years old, special talent. Hopefully Barca doesn't mess that up, even though they're messing up seemingly everything right now. Hopefully they do not mess up Ansu Fati. That would be an absolute crime. Werner scored for Germany, I saw. What else? Very interesting that the UEFA is even having the Nations League. Feel like it's kind of strange. You canceled Euros, but now you're having Nations League. Like, you just want a type of tournament, seems. feels kind of unnecessary. Players could have used this time to be off and help recover, but it is what it is. Speaking of the Nations League, and well, that's what I'm talking about. But speaking of young Mason Greenwood, I have to talk about him and Phil Foden in the great legendary news of this week. Besides Messi saga, Foden and Greenwood invited 2 Icelandic females over to their hotel room that's supposed to be quarantined, but not looking good for them too. Probably going to get sent home. They haven't announced anything officially, but still developing story. I would expect them to get sent home. I mean, I get it. I don't even know how they got in contact with the 2 Icelandic and how they snuck them in. I got so many questions about that situation, but Ian Foden, at 20 years old, has a wife and a child. At 20. I mean, he's in a great financial situation, so I get it. But at 20? But yeah, not a good look for those 2 young, great stars for England. But we'll see what happens there. But without further ado, I will spin the wheel. The NHL. The NHL Playoffs. That was very interesting. The wheel setup. Of course, I do the transition, so you don't always see how many times I spin this, but I had incredible accuracy for that in particular. But the NHL had a message from my school. We are here at the conference finals. I will get to those predictions, but first, recap. Vegas Golden Knights, after all of those 3-1s, in which I've never seen before. Literally every series was in a 3-1. We had 3 Game 7s. Incredible stuff. Thatcher Demko came in and stole the show for the Vancouver Canucks. One of 2 young goalies that really made an impact here. However, both of them lost, but Demko, he put on for the Canucks. Unfortunately, the Vegas Golden Knights, as I predicted, the only prediction I think I got right this entire run here. This entire series. I think I was the only one I got right. But Vegas Golden Knights get it done in 7. They move on to the Western Conference Final, where they will be taking on the Dallas Stars, who also won in a 7-game series, this time against the Colorado Avalanche. Joel Kiviranta, with a hat trick out of nowhere, scored the winning goal in overtime to eliminate the Avalanche. Nathan McKinnon, the guy predicted to have the big superstar run to the Cup, fortunately has come to an end. 25 and 15. 25 points in 15 games for Mac. Still a great run. Still established himself as one of the best players in the world. Unfortunately, he can't get the Cup this year. He broke his point streak actually in that last game. But yeah, I know Gretzky was rooting for him to break the playoff record, but it will have to wait a year. Dallas moves on. Of course, that means the Western Conference Final is the Vegas Golden Knights versus the Dallas Stars. So we have the greatest expansion team of all time, it seems, versus this. I was sleeping on the Stars. Their roster is very good, actually. I don't really know who to pick here. I'm kind of split. This might be a curse, so sorry to all my Dallas Stars fans, but I'm going to go with the Dallas Stars. I think they move on to the Stanley Cup. Every time I've seen them play, they look very good, so I think they get it done. Over to the East, they have the New York Islanders take on the Flyers. Carter Hart is the future. He's the second of my young goalies that did a fantastic job. However, the Islanders get it done. Brock Nelson shut out in that last game. Josh Bailey's been great this whole playoffs. Islanders advance. I was way wrong on the Boston series. In retrospect, I think I was lost in the sauce. Had a little bit too much dip on my chip. I think I was still reeling from the Bruins taking out my Hurricanes. Victor Hedman has established himself. If you didn't know before, now you know. Quite possibly the best defenseman in the game. No dude that big should ever skate that gracefully. He's just a complete player. As a defenseman, he's great. He was big time. Tampa Bay takes Boston out in 5 games, 4-1. They're looking really good. I actually have them beating the Islanders in the Eastern Conference Final. I think the Lightning advance. For Boston, big story was that Char's last game. He's a legend, future Hall of Famer. Was at the big guy's last game. Sad way to go out, but he's accomplished a lot. Won some cups, done a lot of great stuff for the Bruins. So, yeah. With no real reason for me to even spin, we will spin over to TV and music. I will start off with music. Friday we had a couple releases. No, I did not listen to the 6ix9ine album. If you did, go ahead. I heard it was garbage. I had really no interest in it. In fact, I instead listened to Detroit 2 by Big Sean, his album, and of course The Voice by Lil Durk. Really like The Voice. Very interested to see what Durk does on his album. Allegedly, there's another Drake feature, or Durk is featured on Drake. I think it's the other way around. I think I had it right the first time. Very interested to see what that sounds like. Laugh Now, Cry Later has been one of my favorite songs recently. They did the thing on that. So, yeah. The Voice is very good. Love the song. Detroit 2. I'm going to say it. I may get clowned for it. It is what it is. Big Sean has redeemed himself. I will say it. Big Sean has redeemed himself. I did not know how to feel. I was considering whether I was even going to listen to Detroit 2. The feature list looked kind of crazy, so I was like, alright, I'm going to try it. And it was actually, I'm not even going to say solid. It was good. I enjoyed listening to Detroit 2. Very good album. Not sure if I'm going to put it in one of my best albums of the year yet. But it was a very good album. Of course, everybody had the hype about the Cypher. It delivered. 9-minute song. But yeah, Sean did his thing on that. Had some great lyricism throughout. I know a lot of people think he's corny. I didn't hear too many corny bars on that first listen, so 2088 did that thing, of course. Him and Janine, Aiko. But yeah, they did that thing. Sean did his thing. Shout out to him. I enjoyed it. If you haven't listened to it, go listen to it. I think you'll be kind of surprised. Definitely the best thing he's put out in a long time. So shout out to Sean. My biggest thing, however, in the music and film and TV category, one of my favorite shows, The Boys, is back. Yes. Interesting format, though. I was kind of shocked because I didn't know about it. When after I binged those first 3 episodes and then I realized that was it, and they were releasing a new episode every Friday, I was a little hurt, but, you know, for those of you that grew up before, you know, binging was a thing, I'm here for it. It is what it is. I'll take it. As long as the show's still good, I don't really care how I get it. But yeah, The Boys. If you haven't joined the bandwagon, join it. Great show. Very interesting take on superhero culture. Incredibly violent. Effed up. Those first 3 episodes were nuts. Stormfront is, if you didn't already know, actually I'm not going to spoil it. She's going to be a very interesting foil for Homelander. But a lot of great performances acting-wise. A lot of great moments from those first 3 episodes. I enjoyed it. Can't wait for this Friday. I will be tuned in first thing after class. I will be watching. And I hope you do too. It's a great series, if that's your type of thing. But yeah, The Boys is back. And I am almost done with this podcast / show. Unofficial water break time. Got a very, 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 very brief roundup. I'm going to start off with college football, ladies and gentlemen. College football is back. It doesn't feel like it. In the same way I don't feel like I'm actually back in school, I do not feel like college football is back, but it is. Had a bunch of blowouts. However, here in week 1, Marshall beat, 59-0 over Eastern Kentucky. It was a slaughter. Another slaughter was Army won 42-0. Had a 99-yard drive that went well over 8 minutes. I think it was like 8, 9 minutes. Hold on, let me look that up actually. Army 90-yard drive, which have kind of become notorious for this. For these 99-yard drives where they take up a bunch of time because of their play style. Yeah, 19-play, 99-yard. Took 12 minutes and 26 seconds. That is ridiculous. Oh my goodness. 19 plays, 99 yards, 12 minutes and 26 seconds. Should tell you all about that game. Army beat the crap out of them. I wouldn't be shocked to see Army ranked. I think they finished last season ranked. They actually got a nice little team, Berwyn, I think. Definitely the top service academy, I would say. But yeah, Army looked good. Marshall looked good. We got the big dogs coming this week. College game day is in Winston-Salem. However, I'm pretty sure nobody's going to be allowed to be there. So, sorry to all my Wake Forest fans that have been waiting for college game day to come. You will have to watch it on the ACC network. This is not sponsored. But yeah, CFB is back. One of my favorite sports or sections is college football. I love it. Love to watch it. Though it's going to be kind of weird. It's going to be kind of weird not being on campus. We play App State. I go to UNC Charlotte if you don't know. We play App State this week. I'm very, very interested. I will try to be tuned into that game if I can find a stream or whatever. That should be a good one. It was a very entertaining game last year, so very excited about that one. Unfortunately, nobody can be there, even though it's in Boone, so I probably wouldn't have been there anyway. That's college football. I did get some requests about high school sports. 247 came out with their new rankings. Chet Holmgren is number 1. I'm not sure if that affected the composite as high school sports, because that's one of the things I think will help make this different from any other sports medium that you listen to. Ease me evaluating high school sports and talking about high school sports. As those seasons start to come closer, I'll talk about that more for sure in future episodes. But moving on from college sports, we had the U.S. Open going on. Serena beat Sloane Stephens in 3 sets, I saw. The big news, however, was Novak Djokovic, the number 1 player on the planet, was DQ'd, defaulted. Djokovic has kind of had some attitude problems really over this past year, kind of over the course of his career. And it came back to haunt him here in really without any of his rivals, any of his major rivals to really contend with him. Should have just been an easy walk to, I think this would be major win number 19 for Djokovic. Should have been an easy selling U.S. Open for him. But nope, got himself DQ'd. Hit a woman with a tennis ball. It was on accident, but I mean, still, he shouldn't have really been doing his little tantrum. He was trying to give it back, but, you know, mistakes happen, but he's got to pay the price. Even though he's Djokovic, even though he brings in money or whatever, he's still got to, you know, comply with the rules. And hopefully he recovers from this, learns a lesson, and can get back to just playing great tennis, because he's a great tennis player, one of the greatest of all time, obviously. Part of the Big Four, so. Baseball news. Mike Trout hit his 300th home run. One of the future greatest players of all time. Because he's still active, I will stop on calling him one of the greatest of all time already. Though you can argue that. Modern day Mickey Mantle, the best player on the planet. Hopefully the Angels can make the playoffs, if we do have a playoffs this year. So we can finally see Mike Trout play some playoff baseball. They just called up Joe Adele. I've been waiting for that a long time. Long time to see Adele and Trout in the same outfit. I think that can be really special. But yeah, hopefully the Angels can get it together. Trout hit his 300th though, so that's dope. The Yankees continue to slump. I don't want to talk about it. It's not a good place for me right now. Injuries are one thing, but it's not looking good. It's not looking good. We're now third in the AL East. It's bad. It's bad. Fantasy football draft. I mentioned that last episode before I sign off here. I was too busy editing and I missed my first pick. However, luckily I had the second pick, so I did select Saquon Barkley. I feel alright about my team. I'm not gonna sit here and act like I got everybody I wanted. I didn't. Of course, Fournette ends up going to Tampa Bay. I got Rojo, so his carry's gonna get cut. You know, we'll see. I think I might have to be active on the waiver wire though this year. I usually am, but especially this year, looking for the hidden gems. But that about is it. I don't know how long this one was. I did have to probably gonna be a transition somewhere in the soccer part. My SD card filled up, so that's the only really hiccup. Pretty much covered everything here. I have class in an hour. Stay safe, ladies and gentlemen. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. As always, you know, timestamps are in the description, but you're probably at the end of the video, so you should already know this by now. But yeah, like, share, subscribe. Thank you. I feel like I'm getting better at this. I'm enjoying this. Looking to let me know actually what other types of content you would like to see me do. Now I've kind of got the podcast and the show up and running. Trying to look into what other avenues I can hop into. So you let me know. Like, share, and subscribe. I've said that about 4 times in the past minutes. But yeah, stay hydrated. Ocho signing off.